One of the most fun things that you can do with the gel plate is just simple mark making. Just going crazy with your imagination and having fun and just seeing whatever happens when you create marks on the gel plate. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to show you how I use various tools like Posca markers, metallic paints, cut glass crystal, things like plastic credit cards and spatulas, and stencils to create some really interesting looking abstract designs. My name is Jenna McLean. I'm a printmaker, and my goal with this channel is to help you become more skilled as a printmaker yourself. So let's dive into the video. And if you stick around to the end, I will show you how to get your hands on my free gel printing supply list. So let's start practicing and making some prints. I'll be mark making today with my 5 by 7 inch gel plate, some paints, some Posca markers, and I'm going to be using brayers that are about 2 inches wide, and I'll explain why in just a second. So let's get going with our first project. If you've never worked with metallic paints on a gel plate, I highly recommend that you do, because metallic paints look absolutely gorgeous on the gel plate. I purchased this set from Arteza. There are 8 tubes of gorgeous gold and silver and white paint, and I'll put the link for this set in the description below video, but they are stunning. I'm going to first start off with this particular color, this bronzy brown look, and this whitish look. And in order to make really good marks on the gel plate, I'm not going to put a lot of paint on here, and I'm not going to cover the entire plate. This might be a little bit too much. I'll move it over here. And I'm going to take these smaller brayers. I'm going to roll out the paint, but I'm going to keep it in its own neighborhood, so to speak. I'm not going to roll it out over the entire plate. And I'm not going to the edges either of the plate. I just want to kind of get this very abstract look going on. And I'm going to put my paper down. I'm going to let this dry, which will probably take about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and do the pull. So I'll see you then. So I'm going to pull this, and you can see little bits of paint on there. You can rub them to try to get them on the paper, but you can also leave them there because they can create some good grunge. And here we have a nice metallic abstract look already. So I'm just going to set this down. I'm going to take my black Posca pen, and I'm just going to create some lines. I'm going to take my paper and put it back down on the plate and press it down. I'm going to put a heavy book on top because I want that black ink from the Posca marker to stick to the paper that has the paint layer on it, and I'll come back in a few minutes and do the pull. Let's see if this is ready to go. Some of the black is sticking to the plate. That happens a lot when you use Posca pens, but most of it is coming up onto this print. And here we have it, a really fun looking abstract print. I'm going to do another one of these in a different color family. I'm going to be working with some purples and some greens. So I'm just putting a small amount of paint on the plate. I don't want to cover the entire plate. And with the small brayer, I'm going to start to roll this out, but not making it go too far. I'm using short strokes, not going to the edge. And I think it's a good idea, especially if you're into abstract art, to make quite a few of these background papers. Just put some paint on the plate, create a loose, patchy design with the paint, and then pull the print, and then just keep a stack of them so that later on, down the road, next week, next month, next year, you're working with the gel plate and you want to create something that's really fun and abstract. You already have these background papers ready to go so that you can layer something else on top of them. Okay, let's see if this is done. We have some paint sticking to the plate. Normally I would push the paper back down and let it dry, but because I'm creating an abstract look, This does not bother me. Actually, I like having this land on the plate because this is grunge that can be used in the next print. So here we have a background paper. It's bright, it's colorful, but it's definitely abstract. And I'm going to now put down a patchy, kind of thin layer of some milky white. This is a stopper from a decanter. And this is an old salt shaker. And while this is still wet, I'm going to put this back down on top. I'll put my book on top and come back. I'm going to do the pull. And here are the results. So the milky white paint softened the intensity of these colors, but you can see these marks that were made from the crystal pieces that I pushed into the white paint. And this is another interesting looking abstract print. I'm going to do another abstract print, and this time I'm going to be making marks with something like a spatula. If you have an old credit card or gift card handy, you could use that for this particular project. So I'm going to put down some green and some blue. And this is where you can take the card and just start to draw lines and make marks right into the paint. Another thing that you can do is wet whatever it is that you're using, because the lines that you make, the moisture is going to start to make the edges of those marks start to pull away and look a little jaggedy, which is kind of fun and interesting. You can start to see the paint, because it's water-based, the water from this is starting to hit it, and you can see the paint kind of spread. So I'm going to put a piece of paper on here. Let it dry and come back in a few minutes. I'm going to do the pull. I'm going to do another print this time, again using short, choppy little strokes here. Okay, this looks dry, so I'm going to put on my second layer of paint. I'm going to use hot pink and this neon orange and see what kind of effect we get. Again, I'm not going to the edges of the plate because I want this to look as loose and as abstract as possible. I'll put some paper on here, put something heavy on top, and come back in a few minutes and do the pull. While this dries, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use next. I have some stencils with some very abstract designs that I intend to use, and we'll play around with these a little bit. And here's something else that's fun. This is an old stamp set that I bought on Etsy. How adorable is this? It belonged to somebody named David, and I cannot believe whoever David was that his family parted with this, but I bought it, and David, wherever you are, I'm taking good care of it. So I'm going to take some stamps and press them into the gel plate. Now, when you press letters into a gel plate and you do the print, you're going to get the letters reversed. So I'm not going to spell out any words on the gel plate, but I am just going to randomly pop some of these stamps onto the gel plate just to make marks, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if this is dry. I did not put a very thick layer of the pink and the orange on here, so I'm going to do the pull and we'll see what we have. Oh, this is psychedelic. That is intense. So this is what we have. I used the same blue and green here that I did here, but when the pink and the orange go on top of it, it makes these blues and greens change color. So this is a very intense, really kind of, I don't know, almost 1960s or 70s looking abstract print. I really like it. And the marks that were created with the plastic spatula, they just look great. So let's move on to the next print. I'm going to put some of these metallics on here, this silvery and this bronzy color. I'll roll them out in the same kind of haphazard way. I'll put some of these stencils down. And I'm going to take a piece of deli paper and rub. And one of the best papers you can use when you're working with stencils is deli paper. I think in Europe and in Australia it may be called sandwich paper. Sometimes when you buy deli paper, it has a waxed side. The kind that I purchased on Amazon, both sides are the same. There is no waxed side to this. So I'll put the link to this deli paper in the description below. But the deli paper is good because it allows you to get into the holes of the stencil really well. Okay, and I'm not liking these straight lines here left in the center, so I'm just taking a tissue and I'm softening them up. And I just went into David's printing set. I grabbed the Q and the M and the S, and I'm going to let this dry. This looks dry. I'm going to put a second layer of paint on, and because I use some dark and moody kind of metallic paints for my first layer, I'm going to come back in with this metallic white because I want it to pop behind these darker colors. Let's do the pull and see what we have here. Okay, we're leaving some paint on the plate here, but that's okay. And here is the print. Very different look than everything else we've created so far. Here are the stamps from the stamp set. You can't even really tell that they're letters, which is kind of the effect that I wanted with these straight lines here and with these rectangular boxes. I wanted kind of a swirly look created by the stamps, and I think that this worked. I'm going to do another project right now using some paints and matte medium. And if you don't have matte medium, I'll put a link to this in the description below. This is your best friend when doing gel printing because it can help you create all sorts of different techniques and looks that you just can't do with paint alone. And I found this old book in the trash. Somebody was throwing it out. I've torn a page out of it, and this is going to be my pickup paper. I do want this print to start to show through the paint. I don't want to have too opaque of a layer of paint here. So what I'm doing with the matte medium is I'm going to mix this with the paint on the plate. The great thing about matte medium is it's essentially acrylic paint without any color. It will dilute all of these and make them sheer. That's why I'm using it for this project. Let's get to work. And I'm going to squirt a little drop of this matte medium right near the paint drops. I want the matte medium to mix in with the paint. And I think that's good enough. So let's put this down. And see what happens. I don't think this is going to take long to dry because I had so little paint on here. Let's see what happens when I try to do the pull. Okay, good. You can still see the print right through the paint. Could I leave this way it is? Yes, but I could do even more with this on the gel plate. So I'm going to use this stencil, and I think I'm going to use this metallic silver paint and roll it out. I'll put this on top. And then I'll put this on top of that. Let's see what happens. This paper is very soft. This book was printed, I think, in 1938. And I don't know what the fiber is made of, but it feels very soft to the touch. That could have something to do with the age of it, but the softness helps because I can feel the holes of the stencil beneath my fingers. Let's see if we're getting anything here. Yes, we are. Thank you for watching. If you would like to get my free gel printing supply list, there is a link in the description below this video. Just click on it and this will be emailed to you right away. This is really more of a booklet. It's about 9 or 10 pages long. In it, I explain all of the tools that I use and the supplies. There are links to them, the paper I use, the brayers that you saw me use today, the plates, and I do a lot of information about paints because not having the right paints can really create a problem with your gel prints. So, as I mentioned, it's in the description below. Just click on it and I'll send it to you. And if you got value from this video, it would be wonderful if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because I will be doing a lot more gel printing videos in the future. Thanks for watching.